Apple versus the UK government, a global tech giant against a controversial British law, and a secretive committee that may hold the fate of encryption in its hands. This is the story of how the UK's latest attempt at a crypto power grab could backfire spectacularly. It has come to light that the UK government, through the Home Office, has issued a secretive order demanding that Apple provide backdoor access to its iCloud advanced data protection system. The demand came via a technical capability notice, which requires tech firms to remove encryption measures and allow government access to private user data. And what was Apple's response? Well, it was a firm no. The company has long stood by its position. It would never build a backdoor into its security systems, and if forced to comply, Apple has threatened to remove critical security features from the UK or even just withdraw from the market entirely. Now, here's where things get murky because the decision now rests with an obscure government committee known as the Technical Advisory Board, or TAB, and this board is legally responsible for advising on the financial consequences of compliance. But here's the catch. Apple isn't even represented on it. Neither is Google or Meta or any other major tech company that could face similar orders. And as it turns out, the TAB is far from independent because its chair, Jonathan Hoyle, is a former deputy director of GCHQ, which is one of the UK's main intelligence agencies. And other members have deep connections to surveillance tech companies, so it's hardly the neutral oversight body that one would hope for. And Apple's resistance isn't just about the UK. The company has warned that Britain's moves could set a dangerous precedent, effectively turning the UK into a global regulator for encryption. And if you think about it, if one government can demand backdoor access, then what is to stop others, like China, Russia, cyber criminals? And that's exactly what security experts have been warning about for years. There is no such thing as a good guy only backdoor. Once it's created, it just becomes a vulnerability for everyone. And if the UK pushes forward with this, then this could spiral into a high-profile, legal showdown, really. I mean, Apple can challenge the order in British courts, it can drag the government into a lengthy and highly publicised battle, and if things escalate, then the UK could end up facing trade disputes, regulatory backlash, and even damage to its reputation as a tech hub. And so the question really is, could the UK actually enforce such an order on a US tech giant? Well, back in 2015, Apple and others warned that Britain's extraterritorial claims were legally unenforceable. And if push comes to shove, Apple couldn't just withdraw key services or even exit the UK market altogether. And you can just imagine the fallout if that happened. You would have millions of UK users left exposed. Businesses would be scrambling for alternatives. The UK government's left with egg on its face. So it really would be, a fiasco in the making. So what happens next? Well, the Technical Advisory Board will make its recommendation, but the final decision lies with Home Secretary Yvette Cooper. Will the UK government back down in the face of industry pressure, or will it press ahead with a move that could make Britain a global pariah in tech regulation? The implications of this decision extend far beyond Apple in the UK. If the British government succeeds in forcing a backdoor, then other nations may follow suit, threatening the very foundation of digital privacy. And tech companies around the world are closely watching this battle unfold, although they're not saying much about it, because they know that the precedent set here could redefine online security for decades to come. And critics have even argued that governments have long sought to erode encryption in the name of national security, but at what cost? Once this door is opened, there is no turning back. And with recent revelations of state-sponsored cyber attacks exploiting backdoors, can we really trust that such access will only be used responsibly? Because beyond the immediate consequences, this battle raises bigger questions about government overreach, digital rights, and the future of global tech policy in general. Are we going to see a domino effect where all these other governments are going to push for similar powers? A company's going to be forced to compromise security to, basically comply with conflicting international laws. Are we going to get the same Apple services in the UK as we are in Germany or in Canada? They're going to have different features and different privacy settings and all kinds of stuff like that based on where you're a resident. Now, historically, governments that have attempted to weaken encryption have usually faced major backlash, both from the public and from the industry. And the UK government might soon find itself in a similar situation, realising that its ambitions are not only legally questionable, but also it may turn out practically, unenforceable, and Apple may just say, well, we're just leaving. If you're going to be rough with us, then we'll just walk away. What do you think? Should governments have the power to break encryption for security? Or is this a step too far? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to stay ahead of the latest in crypto and tech regulation, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next video.